Hello there, so this is how to separate colors in Photoshop, especially if you want to send them to your printer so that they can print in 4 color. So it's a 4 color print separation in Photoshop. Okay, it's usually done in CorelDRAW, and I know my Photoshop fans usually have issues when they have Photoshop jobs, how to take them back to CorelDRAW and then do the separation. But I just discovered that there is a separation pattern for Photoshop. There are just some few steps. Okay, so I'll use a design I did in RGB because when you are separating 4 colors, you have to separate them in Cmyk. Cmyk is C for cyan, M for magenta, Y for yellow, and K for black. So, but this particular design was done in RGB, which is 3 colors: red, green, and blue. And so we have to convert it to what the printer can use. The printer does not use RGB for most paper prints. They use 4 colors, which means you have to convert your 3 colors into a 4 color. Okay, so I had struggled with it in the past, but I just came up with one method which I feel will work for everybody. First off, you need to take note of the designs that are black. That is the 4th color on the Cmyk, okay, or the printer's color. In case I call it the printer's color, that's the 4th color. So the 4th color there is black, and most of the blacks that are used in this design are not completely black. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. This right now is a vector file, though it's a text, but it's a vector file because I did it in Illustrator, and mostly that's what I may advise for most of your designs. Okay, let me just right click and edit content. Okay, and it will open to Illustrator where I have it, that particular write up, so you can see it. But let me check the color right now. The color right now is mixed with 75% of cyan, 68% of magenta, 67% of yellow, and 90% of black. You don't want all this. The printer the printer will have issue with this kind of color combination. Rather, what you want is a 0% on cyan, 0% on magenta, 0% on yellow, and 100% on black. That's what you want to do. Okay, and when you have this kind of color, what I would advise is you can save it. Go to your color swatch where you have under the appearance panel there. If you don't see it, you can go to your window appearance. I'm sure that's it. But it's usually, sorry, it's under properties. Window properties is under your properties. So under the appearance tab or panel there, if you select the fill and you select the plus icon, so it will ask you, do you want to save? But I like to change this color mode. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. The first thing to do actually is not to change the color, because even if when we go back, let's see, it's still changed. This is an issue. Even after we have fixed 000 on the CMY and 100% on black, it still goes back to that. That's because the document mode, which is here, document color mode, is set to RGB. So no matter what you do on the Cmyk, it will still go back to RGB. So we have to change it here to Cmyk. Okay, so if we do that, then we can come back to the color now, selecting the text and editing it here, and then select it, put 0 there, put 0 there, put 0 there, and then put 100% there. So this way it will stay like that, and then we can save the color swatch. You can save it now and it will save. Okay, you can see now that this has come out to be this. So over here you can still change it again. I don't know why it has to keep changing that way, but I will just change it myself because I want it to be completely black only. So now it's saved. So let's check if it is really what it is. When you draw any object after you have selected that text, if you double click on that part of the panel, the color part, you will see it now, it's 100. So this is correct. So what I can do is I can cut this, Ctrl X, and then save this, Ctrl W to save it so that updates in Photoshop. So if I come back here to Photoshop, the color now, I have to change the color mode because this is another problem. I discovered that the color mode here too will force the colors that are represented here to be in RGB mode, meaning if there are blacks, they'll be forced to look like 3. It's just like reducing 4 to be 3. So you have to compress the fourth one into the 3 colors. That's exactly what is happening. So we have to change the color mode. Before you do this, I will advise you save this document. Save this document again. Okay, the reason is because the client you are sending this file to might be viewing it on their phone. Not might be, most times they view it on their phone, and the phone has a screen color. The screen color of the phone is RGB, so you don't want to rasterize or merge this design into a Cmyk. You can see I have a Cmyk version here, so I'm just going to do it again for the purpose of the tutorial. So I'll do a Cmyk version, put version 2 there, and press OK. So that's what I'm saving it as. Now, even that process I went through here, I might have to go over it again, but I discovered also another trick if I don't want to do it. It works for some text, but it will not work for all. I will explain when I get to that point. Okay, so this document is received now as banner design Cmyk version 2. Actually, it's a poster, not a banner, but that's just the name saving. Okay, so I go for, now that it is saved, I go for what am I to go for? Okay, so this particular one now, this is a trick. Like this one now, it's this is a coily. There's a coily pattern I put here, and there are 2, one up, one down. Okay, but I have to change the color to be pure black. So I can use the color overlay to do that. I hope this is not, sorry, I've not done what I needed to do. Okay, first off, I need to go back to the image mode and change it to Cmyk since I've saved as Cmyk version 2. So I'll select the Cmyk color. And now if you ask me to merge, don't merge. You don't really want to merge, and don't rasterize. Just leave everything as it is. Okay, a lot of things will change. It's fine, it's normal, but this is for the best, because your printer may not be able to work with your 3 colors. Not, they will reject it most times and tell you the print will not come out clearly. Okay, so you can see now that the color has reduced. I don't know if your screen will allow you to see, but it has reduced. Even the lens that was here too has dropped. I use vivid light, but you can see vivid light is not working. So I discovered that overlay can bring me back to close to what I want. And then finally, I'll just go back to that funeral. Okay, that's the write-up here. I saved it as funeral service. Then I can just go to the FX, the color overlay now, and then I want to check what is here is just blend mode normal, and then the color, make sure the opacity is 100%. So select the color and change this C to 0, here to 0, here to 0, and here to 100, just as we did in Illustrator. Okay, and then click OK. And so this particular object right now, though it's still editable in Illustrator, in case if they have errors on the text or anything, it's editable in Illustrator, but here in Photoshop it's showing as a smart object. Okay, so but the color now on it is a pure black. We'll look at it later. Okay, then on this coily aspect, on this coily pattern, I'm going to do the same thing. So but I don't need to just repeat what myself. I can just hold down Alt and drag that coily effect, color overlay effect to the coily pattern, and it's there. And then do the same for the second one. It's also there. In fact, once you see FX, it means it has effect. FX for effect. Alright, so I'm done with that. So that's the only place where, on the top where the black appears. Then over here at the bottom, you can see that the blacks here are more sharper. and that's showing that it's in RGB mode. The RGB blacks is always very sharp because it's composed of 3 colors, but it's not, believe me, it's not good for your printing, or your printer will reject it. So this particular part is called base write-up, so it's editable in Illustrator. This is the part where I have to edit the text individually. Now I'll first of all change the document mode, color mode, from the file menu to Cmyk color. Now remember, I copied something. I'll just press Window and V so that I'll see my clipboard. You can't see it because it's on the other screen. I'm sorry, I wish I can drag it, but once you press Window and V, you will see anything you copied, so you can select it. So that's it there. You just have to move it to one side, and then all these, ungroup them. They are grouped, ungroup them, ungroup them, ungroup them, and so select all these ones. If you check, you see that they are not in full, so I have to change it. I can just press the eyedropper tool, I for eyedropper tool, and select it. So to select the color. Let's check now if it's, yeah, it worked. So you can see now. So we'll do the same thing, but before I do all these ones, okay, let me just select these ones. Do the same thing. The eyedropper tool. So they are all. Let's check just to be sure, but I'm sure. Double click there, it's 100, so everything is fine. Then the lines, I almost missed the line while I was doing mine. Okay, the lines now, you can see it's supposed to be, you can see the lines are not, and then we cannot copy the effect because it's in outline mode. Okay, what we can also do is we can just expand it and say okay, and then to copy the effect. Okay, I'll reduce the opacity to 25%. I don't want it too much. That's what the design wants. And then we are done. Okay, we're not done, but this we have to save it on the color swatch. I'll tell you why. Then that's 100, everything is fine. Then we can delete it. Otherwise, if we don't delete it, once we save this work, it will appear in Photoshop. So go now. Yeah. So we'll come back to this. This is a one text thing. I just separated it with 2 colors. So all I need to do is press the T button to select 2, and then come here and select the saved swatch. You will not see the saved swatch if you didn't save it, so it will be very hard, or otherwise you have to be going here. So that's why I have to save it. Work smart. Do the same here. Do the same here. And that's it for here. So we are done here. Another thing I like to do, I noticed it, but let me see if I can solve it. The colors here, I have magenta coming out, and I don't really want magenta to come out, so I want to take away the magenta to 0%. Let's see what it will produce. It's better than that, and then there's a little black in it. Let me just take it away. Let it just be 2 colors, so it will not be tough for the printer. So then I can save it so that I can apply it on other ones. Yeah, it's correct. So it's saved. If you like, you can give it name, but in my own case, I'm not. And then do the same. So I'm just trying to keep the color, to be, or give the printer no stress. That's what I'm trying to do. And then this, okay, it's grouped. Let's ungroup it. Select the box, and that's it. So we'll save this. Once you save it, it will update in Photoshop. Just allow it to save and then close. Then you can check your Photoshop. So now it should update. Yeah, it's updated now. So we have that color. Then the same thing for, because this is a pure black continuously, but it's not showing here. Okay, have we added it? Let me check. Let me check if it is actually the overlay. I just double clicked on it. Is it taking time? Come on. See, the color there is not really black, so we have to change it. You can see. So 0, 0, 0, and 100. Okay, again. Okay, so that is changed. Now this was supposed to be black, but because black and white adjustment layer doesn't work on Cmyk modes. Okay, remember we changed this mode to Cmyk, so black and white doesn't work. So what you can use is hue. Just take hue and then clip mask it to to that particular layer. Let it be clip mask. Excuse me. Let it be clip mask to that particular layer, and then reduce the saturation so it turns back to black and white. You can also adjust the lightness if you feel like. But I don't think that's necessary. Maybe we can just use curves or levels to adjust the levels to pull out the contrast a bit. Yeah, somewhere around that. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so I believe that's fine. So, and then that's it for that aspect. And then this particular, there's the edge there. Let me lock this layer. What's that? I have a shortcut. Don't know if it's control backslash, something like that. Okay, I don't want it interfering. Alright, so this particular layer is also a vector file, so I will edit it in Illustrator. So over here, because it's black, I feel it can be white and it will still make sense. So what I did was I just added more outline to it and then changed the entire thing to white. These things are very editable, they are not destructible. That's just one beautiful thing about it. So this one, I just use my eyedropper to select the same effect, and that's all. So, and then, oh, ouch, I'm supposed to convert this to, anyway, it doesn't matter because Photoshop has done it already. Since we don't have any black here, Photoshop has done the conversion. You can see that the color here, drops in Photoshop. That's just one thing about the RGB. The color drops. Okay. And so look at it. It's fine now. It's better. And so that's just for everything. Now, finally, you can now save. Okay, we're going to flatten this layer, but you might just want to have another version for safety purpose. So I'll put version 3 here now, because I'm about to turn it to be destructive, like I'm about to turn it into a destructive layer. So, and the way to do that is Control Shift Alt F, and now it's destroyed already. Everything has changed. Okay, this is a process you must go through. And then if you go to your image, we're still in Cmyk, so go to image size. Now take note of the size of your job. This is a poster A2 size, okay, and it's supposed to be 16.5 and width, and then 23.5. In your own case, you can find out what size it is. It can be A3, it can be A2, it can be anything, but just find out your own size and put. But this resolution must be 170. I really don't know why this is like this, but I saw it online that it must be 170. So, and that's it. And once you have done that, the size of the job will increase. Now finally, you want to go to your channels tab there. If you don't see, you can come down and look for channels, so you see it, and then select and split channels. So once you do this, you will have four layers. This is the black. Okay, so the black is the last one. It's written black there. There's yellow, there's magenta, and there's cyan. Okay, that's a Cmyk. So now you have all the blacks appearing here. Those ones we use black for, and other ones that are associated with it. Because it's a 4-color job, you will see everything around it. Then when you go to the yellow, you won't see any of the blacks, only because there's yellow and cyan and yellow makes up green. So you are going to see the ones that are related to that color. Then when you get to your magenta, you won't see anything here. That's exactly because we took it away from the magenta, remember, so it's out. Then when you go to your cyan, you also see that there, and you don't see. So this is 4-color separation. And the beauty about this is that you can actually export this and send to your CTCP persons who separate plates from color to plate. They call it from color to plate separation. They know what to do with this file. Or you can export that Cmyk, and send to them. Once they put it in their system, the color will be separated and it will be like this, exactly like this. And so that's how to run color separation on Photoshop. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel, and you can ask me questions. All I do is I just research and give the answers. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to give a thumb up for this video. Thank you.